There are certain words that cut deeper than actions. A woman doesn't have to scream, argue, or fight. Sometimes just a few sentences reveal everything you need to know about where you stand in her life. And if you ignore them, you're not just risking heartbreak, you're risking your self-respect. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 things that if a woman ever says to you should be your final signal to walk away. Number 1, I don't need you. When a woman looks you in the eye and tells you, I don't need you, those words might sound empowering on the surface, but hidden inside them is a deep message you should never ignore. Independence is one thing. Every strong, confident woman should be able to stand on her own 2 feet, build her life, and thrive without relying on anyone to complete her. That kind of independence is admirable. But when she uses the words, I don't need you, in the context of a relationship, it is not about independence anymore. It is about dismissal. It's about telling you that your presence doesn't matter, that your efforts don't add any value, and that your role in her life is insignificant. And that is where the difference lies. Because a healthy relationship is never about needing someone to survive. It's about choosing to share life with them even when you don't have to. The moment that choice disappears, love loses its meaning. You see, a real partnership thrives on mutual appreciation. 2 people may be strong on their own, but they choose to come together because they want to grow, because they want to build, because they find fulfillment in walking the journey side by side. But when a woman declares, I don't need you, what she's really communicating is that she doesn't see your presence as a choice that adds joy to her life. She's framing you as unnecessary, as disposable, as something that could vanish tomorrow, and she wouldn't feel a loss. And once those words are spoken, it's not just a sentence. It's a reflection of how she sees you. Think about it. Would you ever tell someone you deeply value, someone who brings meaning and happiness into your life, I don't need you? Of course not. You would tell them, I value you. I appreciate you. I love what you bring into my world. Because when someone matters, you let them know. When someone's presence enriches your life, you don't minimize it. You honor it. So when she says she doesn't need you, it's not just a slip of the tongue. It's a declaration of how she perceives your role in her story. And that perception determines everything: how she treats you, how she respects you, and how much space she allows you to hold in her life. Now, here's the painful truth. Many men hear this sentence and try to argue against it. They start proving themselves. They start begging to be needed. They shower her with more attention, more sacrifices, more effort, thinking that if they just give more, she'll finally recognize their value. But what actually happens is the opposite. The more you try to prove your worth to someone who has already told you they don't need you, the more you lower your own value in their eyes. Because needing to prove yourself to someone who has already dismissed you is not strength, it's desperation. And desperation never commands respect. Respect comes from knowing your own worth. It comes from recognizing when someone sees you as valuable and when they don't. When a woman says, I don't need you, she's telling you that her life, her happiness, her journey is untouched by your presence. And if that's the case, then you must understand that no matter what you give, no matter what you sacrifice, no matter how much of yourself you pour into her, she will always see you as extra, not essential, not chosen, not truly significant. And love cannot survive in that dynamic. This phrase, as short as it sounds, carries a finality that many overlook, because love is not about dependency, but it is also not about indifference. It's about appreciation. It's about 2 people saying, I could live without you, but I don't want to. That is where true strength lies, in the choice, not the necessity. But when that choice is gone, when your presence is reduced to something irrelevant, when she sees you as just another replaceable figure, then the very foundation of the relationship has already been shaken. Number two, you're too much for me. When a woman looks at you and says, "You're too much for me," it might sound subtle, almost harmless, but it carries a weight you cannot afford to ignore. On the surface, it may seem like she's overwhelmed, maybe even flattered by your presence, your energy, or your love. But underneath, what she's really telling you is that the fullness of who you are, the way you give, the way you lead, the way you show up, is not something she is willing to accept. Instead of cherishing your intensity and your depth, she's framing it as a burden. And the moment your truest self becomes too much for someone, it means they are not prepared, not capable, or not willing to receive the kind of man you are. Love is not about shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's comfort zone. A real connection is about bringing your authentic self to the table and having that self not only accepted, but celebrated. When she tells you you're too much, what she's indirectly saying is, tone yourself down. Hold back who you are. Be less so that I can handle you. And the danger of accepting that is this. Once you start lowering your light, once you start cutting pieces of yourself away just to be tolerated, you're no longer living as your true self. You're living as a watered-down version of the man you were meant to be, and no relationship built on suppression can ever feel fulfilling. Think about this carefully. Why would someone see your generosity, your ambition, your passion, or your intensity as too much? It's because they don't have the capacity to match it. They can't reciprocate it. They can't rise to it. So instead of admitting their own inadequacy, they make you feel like you are the problem. It's easier to label you as excessive than to face the truth that they are operating at a lower standard. It's not that you're too much, it's that they are too little. And instead of leveling up, they want you to tone down. And if you accept that, you're not just betraying yourself, you're betraying the greatness that someone else would value wholeheartedly. Now, here's where many men fall into the trap. When they hear, "you're too much," they immediately start dialing back their effort. They stop giving as much. They stop expressing as deeply. They hold back their natural strength and intensity, thinking that maybe if they become less, she'll finally be comfortable. But comfort is not the same as love. A relationship should not feel like you're constantly adjusting yourself to avoid being criticized. Because the truth is, no matter how much you minimize yourself, it will never be enough. Once someone has framed you as too much, every expression of who you are will always feel excessive in their eyes. What you have to realize is this: the right woman will never see your energy, your passion, or your strength as too much. She will see it as exactly enough. She will see your depth as rare. She will see your ambition as inspiring. She will see your consistency as valuable. Because for her, what another woman might call overwhelming, she will call irreplaceable. And that is the difference between someone who diminishes you and someone who appreciates you. One makes you feel like a burden for being yourself, while the other makes you feel like a gift. So when a woman says, "you're too much for me," don't hear it as a critique of who you are. Hear it for what it really is, a confession of her inability to match the kind of man you are. And once you see it that way, you'll understand that the problem isn't that you're too much, it's that she's too little to handle it. Number three, I can easily replace you. When a woman looks at you and says, "I can easily replace you," she is not just throwing words into the air. She is stripping the relationship of its essence and reducing it to a transaction. Love is not supposed to feel like a marketplace where people are compared, evaluated, and swapped for the next best option. A real connection is built on uniqueness, on the belief that what you both share is irreplaceable. But the moment she tells you that she can replace you, she's declaring that you hold no special value in her life. She's telling you that you are not one of a kind to her, you're just one of many, and that she could take or leave you without feeling a void. That sentence alone destroys the foundation of exclusivity that every true bond is supposed to stand on. Think carefully about what it means for someone to say, you can be replaced. It means they never truly saw your individuality. They never really valued what you uniquely brought into the relationship. They didn't see your loyalty, your efforts, your sacrifices as treasures. They saw them as basic, ordinary, expected, the kind of things any man could have done. And when someone views your irreplaceable qualities as something that anyone can provide, you're not in a relationship. You're in a contract that can be broken at any time, and no matter how much you try, you cannot build love on a foundation where you are treated as disposable. The tragedy is that many men hear this statement and immediately feel the urge to fight for their position. They start competing with imaginary rivals, trying to prove that they're better than anyone else she could find. They double their efforts, hoping to stand out and be seen as the one. But here's the truth. When a woman tells you she can easily replace you, she has already erased the uniqueness of who you are in her mind. She has already reduced you to a category instead of an individual. And once someone sees you as replaceable, no matter what you do, it will never restore the sense of rarity you once had. Relationships are not supposed to be built on fear of replacement. They are supposed to be built on the security of choice, on knowing that out of all the options, she chooses you because you are not like the rest. When she says you can be replaced, she is admitting that she doesn't see that uniqueness in you anymore. She doesn't see you as a once in a lifetime partner. She sees you as just another face in the crowd. And that is a reality that no amount of effort or sacrifice can change. Because once your presence feels ordinary to her, your absence will not hurt her. And if your absence doesn't hurt, your presence doesn't matter. This statement also reveals something deeper about her mindset. A woman who can so easily say you're replaceable is not someone who truly understands loyalty or emotional depth. She doesn't see relationships as sacred. She sees them as temporary arrangements. She doesn't see commitment as a bond. She sees it as a convenience. And when someone lives with that mindset, no amount of love can anchor them because they will always have one eye wandering toward the next option. If she believes that partners can be swapped like objects, then no matter how deeply you love, she will never treat your place in her life as sacred. So when those words leave her mouth, I can easily replace you, don't take them lightly. Don't treat them as something said in anger. They reveal how she truly views you, how she views the relationship, and how she values your presence. Because love cannot survive where one person is seen as disposable, and no man should ever stay where his worth is spoken of as something that can be traded away like it never mattered. Number 4, I'm not attracted to you anymore. When a woman looks at you and says, I'm not attracted to you anymore, it is one of the most painful truths you will ever hear. Attraction is not just about appearance. It's about energy, about connection, about the spark that keeps intimacy alive. And when she tells you she no longer feels it, she's not just talking about how you look. She's talking about the fact that something inside her no longer responds to you. It's not a statement about your physical features. It's a reflection of how her emotions and her desire have detached. And when attraction fades in a relationship, it doesn't just affect intimacy, it changes the entire dynamic. Because once the spark dies, everything else starts to feel like a routine, like a duty, like an obligation rather than a choice. Attraction is the heartbeat of love. It's what makes someone miss you when you're gone, what makes their eyes light up when they see you, what makes the smallest moments together feel meaningful. Without it, what's left is companionship without passion. And when she tells you she's not attracted to you anymore, she's not just confessing a feeling. She's revealing a shift that has already been happening for some time. By the time those words are spoken, she has already been emotionally checking out. She has already been creating distance in her heart. She has already been imagining a life where you no longer exist in the same way. The most dangerous thing about this statement is that many men try to fight it by negotiation. They start pleading. They start asking what they can change. They start convincing her that attraction can be rebuilt if she just gives it another chance. But here's the reality. Attraction cannot be begged for, it cannot be forced, and it cannot be argued back into existence. Once she says she no longer feels that spark, she's telling you that her heart has already shifted. And no matter how many promises you make or how many changes you attempt, you cannot reignite genuine desire in someone who has already lost it. It's important to understand that attraction is not always logical. It doesn't disappear because of one event. It fades slowly over time when respect is lost, when admiration dies, when emotional connection weakens. And when respect is gone, attraction follows. A woman who does not admire you, who does not look up to you in some way, will eventually stop feeling desire for you. And when that desire is gone, love starts to suffocate. You can still live together. You can still talk. You can still play the roles of a couple, but it won't feel alive anymore. It will feel hollow, like something essential has been taken out. Now, here is where the truth hurts. Many times when she says, "I'm not attracted to you anymore," she's not preparing for repair. She's preparing for departure. Because when a woman tells you she doesn't feel it anymore, she's not seeking to rebuild it. She's warning you that it's already over in her mind. And if you ignore that, you will only end up holding on to someone who has already let go of you. You need to see it for what it is. Attraction is not a small detail. It is the lifeline of intimacy, the pulse of desire, the very reason two people come together and stay together. Without it, you're not her partner. You're her roommate, her friend, her obligation. And no man should ever settle for being tolerated when he deserves to be desired. Because when she says, "I'm not attracted to you anymore," she is not just describing a feeling. She is closing a chapter inside her heart that you can no longer open. Number 5, I regret being with you. When a woman looks at you and says, "I regret being with you," those words carry a sting that is far heavier than any argument, any fight, or any silence you've ever experienced. Because regret doesn't just attack the present, it attacks the entire history you've shared with her. It doesn't just question the relationship as it stands today. It erases every moment, every memory, every sacrifice you made for her along the way. To regret being with you means that she doesn't just want to walk away from what you have now. She wants to erase the entire journey as if it never mattered. And for any man who has invested his time, his emotions, his loyalty, and his love, hearing those words is one of the deepest betrayals of all. Love is built on meaning. The reason we endure struggles, challenges, and sacrifices in relationships is because we believe the story we are creating together is worth it. Every effort makes sense because it leads to something valuable. Every difficult day feels lighter because you're walking it with someone who matters. But when she says she regrets being with you, what she's really telling you is that none of it was worth it in her eyes. The late nights, the compromises, the trust you gave, the moments you thought were special, all of it is being dismissed as a mistake. And once someone labels their time with you as a mistake, they've already stripped away the dignity of what you shared. This is not a statement that comes out of nowhere. Regret is the final stage after disappointment, after disconnection, after disillusionment. It is the point where she has already rewritten the story in her mind. Instead of remembering the good, she magnifies the bad. Instead of cherishing the growth, she focuses on the flaws. Instead of honoring the love, she tells herself it was a waste. And once her mind has reframed the relationship in that way, it becomes impossible to restore the value she once saw in you. Because regret isn't just an emotion, it's a conclusion. It's the decision that what was once treasured is now to be discarded. The dangerous part about this statement is how final it sounds. Many men, when they hear, "I regret being with you," try to argue against it. They start reminding her of the good times. They start pointing to all the things they did right. They try to rekindle memories in the hope that she'll take those words back. But what they fail to realize is that if she has already spoken those words, she has already decided in her heart that those memories no longer hold value for her. And you cannot make someone revalue something they've already thrown away. The moment regret enters her heart, she stops seeing your love as a blessing and starts seeing it as a burden. You need to understand the weight of what she's telling you. A woman can be angry and still love you. She can be upset and still want you. She can be distant and still hope to fix things. But when she says she regrets being with you, she's telling you that in her mind, being with you was a wrong turn in her life's journey. And if she believes that, then no matter how much you love her, no matter how much you fight for her, no matter how much you hope she'll see things differently, she has already mentally erased the meaning of what you built together. And a relationship without meaning cannot survive because meaning is the root of everything. Number 6, I deserve better than you. When a woman says, "I deserve better than you," it is not just a casual remark. It is a declaration that cuts straight into your identity. These words carry the weight of comparison, of judgment, of dismissal. They don't just express dissatisfaction with something you did. They attack the core of who you are as a man, because in that moment, she isn't criticizing your actions. She's devaluing your worth. She is placing herself above you, declaring herself the prize, and reducing you to someone who was never good enough for her in the first place. And when those words leave her lips, the entire foundation of respect in the relationship collapses. Every relationship is built on mutual respect. Love cannot survive without it. You can have attraction, you can have history, you can have shared experiences, but if one person believes they are inherently better than the other, the balance is destroyed. The moment she says she deserves better than you, she's telling you that she looks down on you. She's not seeing you as an equal. She's not valuing what you bring. She's not acknowledging the effort, sacrifice, or loyalty you've given. Instead, she's standing on a pedestal, looking at you as if she has settled, as if being with you was an act of compromise rather than a choice she wanted to make. And once that seed of superiority takes root, there is no longer space for true love to grow. This statement reveals something very important about her mindset. A woman who tells you she deserves better is not seeking growth. She's seeking escape. If she truly wanted to build something meaningful, she wouldn't compare you to some imagined version of a better man. She would work with you. She would support you. She would help elevate you while also elevating herself. But by telling you that she deserves better, she is rejecting the very essence of the relationship. She's not interested in building together. She's interested in replacing you. And replacement is not the language of love. It's the language of detachment. Now, many men, when they hear these words, fall into the trap of proving themselves. They think if she feels she deserves better, then I need to become better for her. They start chasing validation, overcompensating, bending over backwards to try and meet her shifting standards. But the truth is, no matter what you do, once someone believes they are above you, it will never be enough. If you make more money, she will still find fault. If you improve your lifestyle, she will still see someone else as a better option. If you change yourself to meet her expectations, she will only raise the bar higher. Because the issue is not that you are lacking, it's that she has already decided you are not worthy of her, and no amount of effort can erase a conclusion that has already been made in her heart. What makes this statement so dangerous is the way it poisons the relationship. From that moment on, everything you do will be filtered through the lens of not enough. Every effort will feel unappreciated. Every sacrifice will feel overlooked. Every gesture of love will feel minimized. Because once she positions herself as better, she will no longer see value in what you give. And a relationship without value, without gratitude, without recognition will only drain you until there's nothing left. The reality is the right partner will never make you feel small. The right woman will never tell you that you are beneath her. She will see your flaws and still respect you. She will see your struggles and still support you. She will recognize your worth, not because you are perfect, but because she values who you are at your core. So when a woman tells you, I deserve better than you, what she's really telling you is that she doesn't see your worth. And if she cannot see it, she will never honor it. And once respect is gone, love cannot survive.